All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's a rainy Saturday. It's cold, so I hope you're keeping yourself warm. So, welcome to a reflective weekend, and we're going to have a quick one. Um, so we are able to have a good time to reflect and use some of the templates shared. So kindly confirm if you can see me live now, either on YouTube or here on the app. So kindly confirm so we go on as fast as possible. My name remains Zainab Mabini-Adesanya, and I'm very excited to welcome you to day 6 of the Sustainability Blueprint. It's been a good time uh, learning, relearning, unlearning, having a refreshing moment with you all. Thank you again for joining in this Saturday morning. Kindly confirm if you can hear me. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Is my audio clear? Waiting, waiting, waiting. Let me read your chats. Please, waiting for confirmation. Josephine, are you there? Please do not drop the message in the group. Let me so I can see it as fast as possible. If you have any message, kindly just drop it on the link so I can see it as fast as possible. Okay, so that's fine. You can hear me loud and clear. Let me quickly share my screen. Okay, so our focus this morning, I want to make sure we have a very deep session learning this in just 1 hour, because we have a host of templates that will be shared immediately after the session to everyone who received their email addresses. So you can have time to go through the resources and templates and practice. Okay, so team and talent management for growth. Now, this is just to bring out the core parts of HR, human resources. In business growth, remember I mentioned um, probably day one or day two that it's mainly about creating systems, enabling systems for the people to thrive, for the processes, for the products, for optimizing profit. So it's about system, right? So and today we're focusing on people, that is human, and we bring it out. Say we have team and talent management, and we are going into this right away. So, for any business to grow, to scale, to be sustainable, uh, the people in the business really matter. The people. And truth is, the business cannot grow beyond the people, their capacity, their commitment, their their values, the system guiding their operations, right? So the business cannot grow beyond the people. So we now need to look at who are the people in school business, since this is our focus. Who are the people? The teaching staff, the non-teaching staff, the administrators, the management team, everyone, because we are not focusing on teachers alone. Teachers are not the only ones in the school. In fact, the people really, really provide enabling system for teachers to thrive. They are the administrators, the management team, and the non-teaching staff. We need to work hand in hand with them, cooperate with them. That's what can bring results. So when you're focusing HR of schools on teachers alone, it's like building on a foundation that will soon fall, right? So everyone, our focus this morning is on everyone and how you can create an enabling system for everyone to thrive so that you are able to optimize the resources. Our goal is optimization, not managing. Let's get that clear. Our goal is to optimize the talent of the people in our of the talent of our team, the talent of the people in our business. So the goal is to optimize their talent, their capacity, right? And when we say optimization, it goes beyond managing. So let's look at what are the key things. What are the key things? Remember, we talked about goal setting, division, mission, and all of that. So now aligning the goals, like from what we seek to achieve in our school, from the goals that we've set for the term, for the session, of course, the goals drawn from the vision, the future that we're heading to. Now, listen out. What are those team goals that will help us achieve the actual goals? The big plan that we have. What are the specific goals we need as a team? Let me just quickly do a check so I'm sure you're following. So you're following, just drop a message in the chat so I can see you. You're following, drop a message in the chat so I can see that you're following this. So listing out the specific goals, these goals for each school differ. It depends on the needs. And this is why I often refrain from giving random ideas or random samples or random advices, because there are you really need to look at the current needs of your school. What are the needs? What is it exactly? Right? And when you look at the needs of the current when you look at the current needs, sometimes truth is, most times in businesses, let's just be truthful here. mm, the problem that we encounter most in businesses is creating a thriving system for growth and optimizing the resources that we have. Optimizing the most, because I love to look internally often, because this is what I do for my own businesses as well, and my personal life. For every stage, every challenge, I try to look internally first, right? Because the strength to change the situation for greatness lies internally. Not It's not an external factor. It's not about, oh, we're seeking funds. Yes, we're seeking funds, but mostly what we need to do, what we need to drive growth lies in the internal. And what are those internal parts? The system that we have created and how we are optimizing the resources that we have, right? So in setting your team goals, it could be that you could probably have noticed that there is less commitment. You could have noticed that there is less attention to professional development. You could have noticed that, oh, probably you hired wrong, right? So you really need to know what exactly it is at the moment, so you are able to list the goals that you seek to achieve with your team. And looking into the future, what do we need to do next? What do we need to do now? What do we need to do next? Okay, we, following what we achieved this session, probably our students struggled with mathematics. We see there is a decline in an aspect of literacy, probably grammar or writing, or probably our sciences weren't practical enough. So you need to look at the gaps, and from the gaps you identify, set clear goals, for the next session. And while setting clear goals for the next session, while you're doing all of the review and setting and resetting now, it's important that this change starts happening this short term, that your clients, your customers, your students, the parents, they start feeling it, that okay, there is going to be um, a, a, a breath of change. So you don't wait till September to say, okay, all the corrections we want to make, we are waiting till September, and then your customers, they found a better place where those errors are minimized, right? So set your team goals and ensure that these team goals align with the overall school vision and objectives, right? After you've done this, now ensure collaboration, because you cannot, even while setting the team goals, you could involve quite a number of them to brainstorm, to set clear the challenges. So you see, these are the challenges, this is what we are facing at the moment, and this is the future we are looking forward to. What are those? And you said it goes together. If you said it goes together, it helps collaboration faster, right? But let's even say you said with a few stakeholder among them, please, you now need to involve the whole team. This is, and communicate clearly. This is where we are heading to. This is what we need to do. These are the goals. These are the actions ahead of us, right? And encourage teamwork. Why I keep saying encourage teamwork is, do not breed toxic work culture. Do not breed toxic work environment where some feel less valued and some feel overrated, and there is this complication going on now and then, right? So ensure that everyone feels valued, and they are able to contribute their best into the growth of the business. So collaboration is, you, because your own goal is you want to optimize their capacity, and to optimize their capacity, you need to help them feel valued. And making people feeling valued around you is one of the great skill you really need to possess as a leader, right? As a business leader, it's important that people working with you, people around you, they feel valued, so they are able to contribute their best, right? So ensure collaboration, not competition, right? Not rating. Of course, there'll at different times, there'll be what's it called? In terms of performance, you would see some who are really performing, going out of their way, and you'll be so amazed how their, you'll be so amazed about their commitment. Encourage them, make them feel happy, and encourage others who are average or a bit above average. Keep encouraging so that you're able to get the best out of each person. Then continuous training. Continuous training. Oh, I think this is one of the major part where the real work is, right? Um, as entrepreneurs, I know it is not easy. I understand the economic challenges and all of that. We tend to focus on raising funds, generating funds, and all of that. But truth is, if the gap in the scale of our team, if the gap is so much, we may just end up throwing money away every month. And it's important that when this happen, listen, mistakes will happen in business. It's normal. It's all. By the time I'm through with this first slide, in fact, you could have identified some of the things that you're not doing right in your team management yet. But you don't need to. I'm saying this because I also lead two businesses, and it's a continuous struggle, it's a continuous effort, right? So in terms of training, you need to look at how you can engage your team such that the skill gap between what they are able to do and what you as the leader, what you're able to do, the skill gap is not much. Like, they are able to do run things the way you really want it done, right? So um I'm an advocate of internal trainings, of in-house trainings. I'm an advocate of it because I've seen that it's so efficient, it works better. And of course, you have external trainings, right? But internally, continuous professional development should be a culture in the system. It shouldn't be what you wait till the end of the term for a consultant to come and train your team, and then the person goes back to their destination, your team goes back to their regular habits, and nothing changes, right? So the real thing that I've worked for our clients and that we keep advocating is that have a system of continuous professional development in house, probably weekly. For the ones we do, it's weekly. We only exempt weeks of exams, when we're running tests and all of that. But all the other regular weeks, out of the 13 weeks in the term, we spend 10 weeks for the internal CPD. So weekly, there is a day set aside, an hour of that day that teachers do, teachers train teacher. And there is a calendar, a CPD calendar, that is shared ahead, and everyone works with it, and it's very fantastic. In fact, for one of it, we tried running an assessment by the end of the term, through objective questions, 3 questions per the sessions taken, and it's really worked. So internal CPD, then following the review and the gaps you identify. If you identify some gaps and you see that the skill no one is lacking in the team, that you really need an external resource person, then you look at an appropriate time within your schedule, within the school schedule, for the external resource. Okay, for the external resource person to come in and facilitate the session. Preferably, this external resource, if it's your school's quality assurance team, probably you hire in-house consultant, because part of what we do at Growth Matter Global Consult is that we provide in-house consultations. So we are part of the team, like we are part of your school, right? And we are able to identify the gap early. We are able to see where we are heading, and we're able to map it out and support our clients. So with those kind of supports, continuous support, we see that there will be improvement in your team. And then I know this question of, oh, if we keep training them, and how about if we keep training them, and by the time they've attained the skill to a very great level, how about they leave us? um One painful truth is that labor is mobile. It is true. Labor is mobile. People can always decide the environment where they want to work, right? Now it is the only what we can only try to do in terms of retention of the best talents in our team is to, of course, create a system for them to thrive, because people won't even stay in toxic work culture. They won't stay in places that they are less valued. They won't stay in places that um, there is no growth, there is no professional growth, so they won't even stay, right? So for them to stay, we need to make sure they are valued. We need to make sure they get that professional growth. And uh part of being valued is also their welfare and all of their salary, their welfare and all of that. But of course, words, kind words, our relationship with them, really matters a long really matters. And one thing is, if you train your teachers, if I train teachers in my own school, if the other person also continues to train teachers in their own school, we are serving the nation. Because let's even say, this person goes to the other one comes back to mine. It will just become a culture of we are exchanging value. It's not like it's the only pain is when you lose a good hand and you hire an average person, and it takes you time again for to groom that person into becoming an above average, right? So just bear in mind that retention, not training staff, would not retain them. It would only make your system, very poor. The quality of education in your school very poor, and your competitors, remember, they are not sleeping. They will train, they would get the best, and they will get the best clients as well, the customers as well, right? So keep training, keep training, keep training. Then the fourth process is feedback culture. Feedback, regular feedback. It's important we hear from our team um their feedback, so that we are able to grow, we are able to improve. Of course, they may have certain concerns, and if we don't hear them out, probably through writing or through, I love it written, so that we can always review and see the gaps, see what we can do. And I love hearing from the team. So feedback is very important, right? So it encourages growth in the system. And why I'm saying this is, do not create a system where people just praise the leader. Oh, you're doing great, you're doing well. Yes, they should tell you that, what you're really doing well. But in aspects where they feel, oh, ma'am, can we try this? Oh, can we do this? So they should be able to bring suggestions to the table. They should be able to feel heard. When they feel heard, they bring in their suggestions. Sometimes one person's suggestion may really be the saving grace for a future event, right? Then talent identification. I haven't talked about all of these four processes. Now let's go, because remember, our discussion today is on team and talent management, right? So talent identification. You see, everyone in the team has something unique about them. They have their strengths, they have their weaknesses. Know that about your team members. They have their strengths, they have their weaknesses. And one broad major category is that there are people who are front runners. There are people who are front runners. They love to be at the forefront, being seen, being heard, doing things. Mostly they are extroverts. Okay, so they are extroverts. They love being at the front. Just like, not like they love it. They just, by the nature of what they do, they are front runners. Now, for these people, the way you manage their talents, the way you manage them to really keep them is they thrive on praises and encouragement a lot. In fact, what it means is that if you don't praise them, if you don't use some words of encouragement over the time, they may just say that they will withdraw. That is, it's very uncommon to see an extrovert who can keep it keeping on without encouragement. It had any extrovert who's able to do that has probably gone through a series of trainings, and in terms of emotional intelligence, person has actually built a very good strength around that area. So if you have employee who immediately they get into your school, they are here, they are there, doing it well, going far and above, going far and beyond. Trust me, you need to praise them, because if they don't feel valued, if they don't feel encouraged, they might withdraw to the basic. Okay, they will just tell them, extra will just say, okay, anyway, since I'm less appreciated, let me what's the basic thing that I can just do to just keep myself in this job without looking for anyone to praise me again? And they'll just you just see them performing at the basics, right? No going far and beyond. And then the other ones who are let me I'm gladly putting it into extrovert introvert, so it's easy. But if you manage a team, you'll be able to understand. You Of course you will understand what I'm talking about. There are people who, when they come into into your system, they may start slow. They may start slow, but they keep they keep growing steadily, steadily, steadily. They are very efficient. They keep on to protocol. In fact, this I think this I'm laughing because I have personal experiences here. Okay, so they don't do things in a hurry. They take their time, but they do it very well, very efficient. They love it to flow gently, steadily, and all of those. It's good, but sometimes, in business, you really want them to act fast, right? Now, for these people, they really don't mind if you praise them, if you don't praise them, because they are doing it at their own pace. But for the business, you need them to also come out of their shell. And as much as they are efficient, they should be fast with the efficiency, because there are certain things that cannot wait, all that long process that they go through, to keep growing and growing and growing. So those ones, and sometimes they are the ones who can stay long. They can stay very long in a role, right? Because they have their own internal motivation. But you see those ones that the extrovert people, their motivations are external. It relies on what the external environment is saying. That's what keeps them motivated. That's what keeps them being the best. But the introvert, they don't care. I don't, but mostly is that they don't care about what the external environment is saying. It's the internal motivation that matters for them. Whatever they're able to gather within, the strength they're able to gather from within is what keeps them growing. So I'm saying this so that you are not. I'm saying this so that you don't put everyone in the same box. So you don't put everyone in the same box. So you don't keep everyone in the same box, right? And please give me a moment. Okay, sorry about that break. So you don't put everyone within the box. So that's just a broad identification. You can also identify their specific skills. Some are very good at documentations, preparing documents. Some are very good at those ones are very good at documentation. You see them, their lesson planning, their scheme of work, their in fact, and that happens mostly to those introvert people. they take their time to prepare things. But you see the extroverts, they may be very great at teaching. But when it comes to documentations and some plannings and all of that, they may not, they may be doing it, you may find them doing it at the last minute always, right? So identify their specific talents, so you are able to maximize, you're able to optimize, you're able to throw throw to them ideas that you all can try as a team. And people see, what's it called, when others see your school, if you are optimizing the resources, your human resources very well, you honestly be ahead of the pack. You honestly be ahead of the pack. All right, so quickly to the next one: performance metrics. It's important you have, you measure performance. Okay, you measure performance, and there must be clear metrics for this performance, that you need to measure for this evaluation, for this team evaluation that you want to do. It's important that there are clear metrics, and those metrics clearly communicated as well. So, through your teacher's appraisal. So I think in among the resources that you receive immediately after this training, I think there is teacher's appraisal there. There is KPI for your school ed. I think a few other performance, measurement tools are there as well. So, um, establish this. In fact, we've part of the things we did with some of our clients was that we did weekly teachers KPI, where we review performances weekly and we communicate, okay, this week you did well here, you did very well here, this part you struggled a bit, these are the things you can do, going forward, and all of those. So that way, in fact, it really worked. The main challenge is being consistent. If you create a good system and you're consistent with it, oh my god, it's so powerful. It's so powerful, so magical, right? The results you get. Okay, so, excuse me. Also, recognition programs. Remember I said okay, recognition. Remember I said, of what, regardless of who you have in your system, please create recognition programs. Okay, it's like, the audio is better now. Okay, so there was something we did last year. Right, like we went beyond the regular, oh, best teacher of the year, best teacher of the days, and that. What we did was that we worked with the school head to identify the strengths of each team member, right? So when we gave out the awards, the certificates, awards, and everything, each certificate defined the particular value that that person has brought into the team, right? And with their names and gifts added to it and everything. So that way, everyone will feel like, okay, so person is always punctual. This person submits documents on time. This person is very influential. I mean, in terms of teaching and impacting knowledge. This person is, so identify each skill, because each skill, every of these skill is really matter. It's the totality of everything that operates in your school that makes it your school um quality and effective. So, okay. And succession planning. Yes, 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 yes. Because our key our goal here is sustainability, right? Now, for succession planning, um, for anyone who have been following me before, you probably must have heard me talk about succession planning not really being about you handing over your school to your kids, right? Because most times these children don't even want to continue the business. But either way, succession planning in the team management is about the intentionally setting up leadership academy, teachers leadership academy, right? So for this teachers leadership academy, okay, my network I shouldn't fluctuate this. So for this teacher leadership academy, there are leadership skills that we specifically design for the leadership academy, and that we take these teachers, the administrators through, so that they are able to handle leadership roles independently. And when they are able to handle those leadership roles independently, you can be confident that you are gradually building the succession system for the school, right? So you see, this first slide captures every for our presentation. So this is why I took my time to take you through it here. All right. So um So I'll share with you teachers appraiser. I think there is even the non-teaching staff appraiser, drivers, cleaners, quite a number of resources that I'll be shared with you immediately after this session, just to ensure you drop your details with the customer support rep, so she's able to um, make sure that it gets across to you. Okay. So, I haven't talked about those processes. Let's quickly discuss the challenges in team and talent management. The challenges, right? Because as I've explained earlier, it may seem like, oh, there is no challenge, that once you hire someone and you keep following the process, lines will fall in pleasant places. But truth is, there are challenges will come up, right? And it's important you are aware of how to address each challenge, so you are proactive, you're working towards it, so it doesn't break the system that you're trying to create. So number one problem is there may be difficulty in identifying top talent effectively. Hmm. Difficulty in identifying top talent effectively. Okay. For this difficulty, do you know why it is difficult? Remember, I mentioned earlier that we have people who join your system, and before you know it, they are up and above, they are going far and beyond, and you are so excited. That, of course, is a good skill, but sometimes they may not. You may take them for, oh, this is this person. Meanwhile, to keep them to keep them to keep them, to ensure they keep trying their best, doing the best, they rely on some external motivations. Probably when they just joined, that they are, putting in their best. You have some extra funds around that time. Probably you usually top their, oh, take this as your TFE, add this for your data recharge, take this as part of your logistics allowance. You're always there, doing giveaway, and they're happy, they feel happy, they are doing the job. And then be another time that you are on very lean budget, that you just have to focus on very basic expenses, no giveaway, no odogu pahara vibes or anything. That way, the person who has actually been, being the best because they were getting something from you, their performance may withdraw, especially if they don't know what you're going through, or probably you did not communicate, because there are some that you can communicate, but there are some that you don't need to communicate with your team or something. Probably because you did not communicate it, and they just say that you are no longer giving. This week, no giveaway, the following week, no giveaway, till the end of the month you just pay the salary, and everyone, you just continued. That person who relied on external motivation, the drive would may actually become very low, very low, very low. And there are people who um by their character, I don't want to say it by their nature, by their character, they are two-faced. What I mean is, in your presence, there are things they will do in your presence but may not do in your absence. And with what they do in your presence, you probably look at, oh, this person is the best, and you probably even assigned some leadership roles to them. And in your absence, they're doing very less than what they did in your presence. And other members of the team, they look at it like, even the Mrs. A or the Mr. A that our boss is always saying is doing very well. Look at how she's doing, or look at how he's doing, right? So it is sometimes difficult to identify the top talents effectively. So you really need to sometimes set aside your own emotion, because each of us, we have our biases. We have certain traits that once someone exhibits them, the person wins our heart, right? So we need to identify those biases and please set them aside, and really, really look at the performance metrics that we've designed. And okay, look at consistency in growth of each member of the team to really, really identify the top talents effectively, right? So you need the talent assessment tool, that's your KPI, and whichever perform your appraisal that you want to use. Consistent growth on that path is an indicator that this person is a top talent, and you really need to now see how best you can optimize the top talents, right? Problem two is that sometimes there is this insufficient collaboration among team members. Okay, so remember, I mentioned earlier that you need to foster collaboration. You need to be intentional about this, because what most times lead to this issue on collaboration is one, communication gap. And this communication gap, if your school has an organogram or a flow of communication that you all are working with or you all agree to, a constant break in that flow, a constant break of that flow of communication can lead to unhealthy rivalry, unhealthy competition, and before you know it, each person is not really working according to their responsibilities. They are rather just playing to your softness, right? So you need to ensure that there is teamwork, establish that culture. And remember, I said everyone should feel valued. Then include team bonding activities. include team bonding activities, intentionally include team bonding activities, so that each person is not just doing, they are not existing in the school as individuals, they are existing as a team, because the strength of one person can also build the strength of the other person. And when the strength is built as a culture, it becomes a part of your school. But when the strength is just in one person, and the person is only going about that strength, using it as an individual, not like the whole team is using that same skill, you know, that is when there will be a huge gap when such a teacher leaves the school, or when such an admin or some leaves the school. Ensure collaboration. The no, fourth challenge, okay, even this collaboration, the toxic culture that I mentioned earlier, please, gossips, unhealthy talks, unhealthy use of language. Even you as the business leader, you don't say because you are the owner, there are still words that you don't use on your employees. If you really want to breed, you want to nurture a healthy work culture, right? So problem three is challenges in performance appraisal processes. There are times that if there is inconsistent criteria, this week you just looked at it, this week no, you did not use any KPI, no performance management tool, nothing. Just say, oh, Miss A, you are the best this month or this week. Probably because one thing about humans is that we tend to judge people by their last actions. Let's say on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the person was not really doing well, but Thursday, Friday, in fact, maybe this Friday being the last day of the week, the person really did something very fantastic, and you rate that person the best for the week. What happened to every other thing that happened on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Right? So there is a psychological expression for this, that we tend to judge people by the last, by how last we the last feeling we get from them. So to ensure this consistency is to ensure that you have a performance management tool that you're using, and there is growth that you can measure on those tools. And then feedback. If the feedback that you provide for your team, if it is not constructive, right, it will bring a real challenge. All right. I think last week Coach Emi mentioned that we should correct the action, not the person. We should condemn the misbehavior, not the person. Okay, this is not right. This is not right. This is how you need to do it. Not you are not right. You are wrong. You are, you know. So we should condemn the misbehavior, not the person. And problem four, which I see a lot of schools complain about, is resistance to change, resistance to growth. There is this issue of sometimes teachers may feel so comfortable doing what they're already doing, that trying new things, they may be very resistant to it. Now, it is really important that to really fight this resistance, there is need for communication. If you don't communicate, if they don't understand why they need to do what, if you don't let them see the bigger picture, they will really really be resistant. I have a particular kind client that really complained about someone who has been so redundant. But by the time I engage that person, if you see the way the person was driving growth, was really very committed to personal development. This is somebody that has always been so withdrawn about professional development. So you need to communicate, you need to collaborate, you need to let them see the bigger picture, you need to encourage them to adapt to new practices. And you need to, sometimes people are just locked down in their fear. Hey, this technology integration they're talking about, oh, this AI in education they're talking about, how about if I try it and I fail? So you need to really really let go of their fears, right? So those are some of the challenges, and I hope you've learned something this morning. So we wrap up, we'll just share this with you, and then um the tools so that you can use. Okay, there is this a question? Big goals complete a conducive learning environment for preschoolers. Get more valuable human resources. Continuous. Okay, this person was taking notes. Oh, thank you. Build on Islamic culture. Yeah, well done, well done. So in the chat section, let me see your questions, your comments, some of the challenges you have with team and talent management. Have I answered it during the session? So let's hear from you. Let's hear from you. Okay, let me do a quick check here. Yes, is this a question you ask for our goals? Yes. Um, I'm with you. I'm with you. If you're here, um, let me take your question now. I see someone is typing a message in the WhatsApp community. So, questions on talent and team management.